Seems to me we've made retirement planning way too complicated. How about this simple plan? Determine to save at least 10% of my income. Use automatic withdrawal every month. Number three, never touch it no matter what the market is doing. In other words, don't try to time the market. When the market's going down, get out, or when the market's going up, start getting in. Just stay in no matter what. Just use a simple S&P 500 index fund. If you do that, you can just relax. Why do I say this? Let's see where you might be if you just use this plan. What I want you to do is consider people who don't use this plan, how they ended up. Vanguard account balances as of 2022, the end of it, the median account balance was only $87,000. I want to show you how easily you could have a lot more than that just doing the following plan. What I want to do is, again, back to our plan, we said save 10% of your income. In other words, if you're making $60,000 a year, your household, you'd save $500 a month. I can see the first uh, complaint is I don't have $500 a month. Well, let's just run it for $500 a month just to show you where you'd be in the last 100 years over a 35-year period, no matter what's going on in the stock market, whether it's going down like this or whatever. Let's just see where an individual would be after 35 years over the last 100 years. These are the actual numbers. For example, in 1923, after 35 years, you would have 1.936 million, investing $500 a month. Here it is right here. Down through these years, 1929, you actually would have had $3 million. Here it is right here. Even though it started out so horribly and had some tough years, the other ones, you still ended up with over $3 million. You go down through this column, the minimum you're going to see is 1.45 million, investing $500 a month over a 35-year period, just sticking it in there month after month. Now, I can hear people saying, I don't have $500 a month. I may make this kind of money, but I don't have $500 a month. Let's just cut that in half, 250, and let's say you increase that by 3% a year, 250 the first year, 258 the next. Let's see where you might be given that scenario. Again, our whole goal is to have $1 million at retirement. In this case, over a 35-year period, investing $250 a month, increasing that by 3% a year. In other words, just 5% of somebody making 60,000. Look where you'd be in all these different years. $1.8 million, $2 million, $2.2 million, $2.3 million. In fact, if you look all the way down this column, you're going to see the least you're going to see is 930,000. The median would have been 1,390,000. So you would have made it to $1 million. How many times? 89% of the times, given this simple scenario. $250 a month, 3% a year. That's just 5% of your income. And 89% of the time, you would have reached $1 million. And the minimum you would have had is 930,000. Let's just do one other thing here. Let's increase your every fifth year, let's increase what you're putting in by $50. Well, let's make it 25. We want to make it the least painful way to get to $1 million. In other words, on the sixth year, you're going to increase it by $25. 11th year, $25, and so on. Let's see if that makes any difference, because we really would like to see us over $1 million, just because that's the name of the channel. Look at this. Here's a simple plan. It would have worked over the last 100 years in every scenario. $250 a month, increasing that by 3% a year, and every fifth year adding $25 to that. So you can see it's going down here, 250, 315 because you're adding 50, 390 because you're adding 50. In other words, you're just basically putting in your inflated wages as they go up, because your wages are going to go up over the years. Look at this, 100% of the time you would have reached $1 million. There's a minimum right here. 55% of the time you would have reached 1.5 million. You can see the median right here is 1.566 million. You just go down through here and see million, 2 million. I'm not sure if you get to 3 million. Yeah, there is actually a $3 million, 3,539,000. 100% get to $1 million. There's so many different ways to get to $1 million when you retire that I just want people to realize these numbers. Just use this simple plan. Determine to save at least 10%. Again, we just saw if you can't save 10%, then just try to increase it. Save 5%, increase it by 3% a year, and add maybe $25, and you're going to get up over that $1 million. And this isn't the worst case scenario. This is the worst case, $1 million, just simply investing this kind of money. I want people to know these numbers. We've made investing way too complicated. And so we end up people trying to time the market. They end up with these kind of figures because they let their emotions dictate what their investment strategy is instead of just staying with the simple plan. Stick it in there every month. And number three, never touch it no matter what the market is doing. And always just use a simple S&P 500 index fund because that's been shown to beat most funds 90 to 93% of the time. Again, $250 a month, increase it by 3%, $25, and you're going to hit that $1 million in every case in the last 100 years. No guarantee, but is it really going to do worse than it did even during the Depression years? Again, channel's called $1 Million Made Easy. Please subscribe. We put out videos quite often looking at all these different numbers and the way to work them. Thank you for watching.